All right, I think we're rolling.
Hi,
Right
welcome.
there. We were still chatting down in the other room.
That's okay. I'm not sure if in the other presentation they let you know that we're videotaping
They did
this
that one.
evening. Yeah. That way we can make it available for
Later.
parents who wouldn't be able to make it. What I'm going to talk to you a little bit about tonight is our district theme this year is Believe, Engage, and Achieve, and that's district-wide. We're working to have students believe not only in themselves but in their success, so that way they can believe that they have the strengths to engage in the classroom, and then that engagement will lead to some success. Hi, welcome. Come on in. Welcome. So, I know that you guys can read, so I won't read this verbatim, but what we're really trying to do this year is increase parent involvement and to really strengthen that relationship between home and us and the student, and that triangle of how it's the parent and teacher working together that can help your child. And so in a little bit I may ask for some of your thoughts, and you can feel free to share. Before we go any further, I just really want to say thank you guys for all that you do. We can't do it without you. And for those of us who can't be here tonight because of other commitments, and so for those of you who are watching this after the fact, we thank you too. It's just, you are our biggest and best resource. And as a counselor, it's kind of my quest to make sure that those relationships stay strong and that we can continue to develop that, because we can't do it without you, and you can't do it without us. So as I said before I was opening up this presentation, that this year Olympia's theme for the academic year is Believe, Engage, and Achieve. And that's kind of what I want to talk to you guys about. One of the things that I did recently, and the handout that you have in front of you, Andy and I were talking, and he just said, you know, there's a lot of topics that aren't necessarily academic in nature, that I think you as the counselor would be excellent at talking to the kids. And so I made up, this is for the teachers, and this is Thomas's home-based visit order form. And so all of these are PowerPoints. The ones that are coming soon are just that, they're coming soon. I've already had a couple of teachers say, oh, I would like for you to come in and do the 3 More R's series about cyberbullying, or about getting along, or peer relationships. And so part of what I'm envisioning for the belief piece to all of this is that we're gonna believe in your child. We're gonna believe in their potential for their success. We also want to work to have them believe in themselves and others, because we're kind of feeling like here we are as this wonderful Olympia family, and we want kids to know they're not an island. I've told kids time and time again at this school and my previous school, this isn't a reality show. It's not going to be last 6th grader standing. It's not going to be that only one person gets to be promoted and go on to high school because that person was better than everybody else. And I sadly think that reality TV skews that for kids, where it's, you know, this team against that team, and then people get voted off. And I tell kids, you're not going to get voted off of Olympia Island. You're just not going to. But we also believe in you to support your students' efforts outside of the educational environment. And we know that you play a huge, huge role in this. And so that's where I'm kind of using this as the foundation, that foundation of belief, that we believe in all of the components that we have to offer. And so the next component to that is engaging students. And as I was saying, this whole catalog, and I have so much fun, and I don't think that this is the exhaustive list either. Because I'll listen to teachers and they'll say, well, you know, sometimes it really is bullying. Sometimes it's just that kid next to you who just is being a jerk and doesn't know how to have any impulse control and is just kind of saying things to you, it's annoying, it's not bullying, it still needs to be addressed, but we need to address it differently than if that child was actually bullying. And so for students to be able to recognize, and so one of the series that I have is called the 3 More R's, which is recognize, rethink, and resolve. So recognize really what this is, rethink it. Did that person, was it an accident? Were we playing in gym and they bumped into me because we both went to the ball at the same time? Or did they have it out for me since last week and now they're coming? So let's rethink that. And then how do we resolve that? So, you know, I take basically the same scenario, which is centered around PE, and kind of twist it a couple of different ways. So in one instance, a kid says to another, that's the ugliest shirt I've ever seen. Well, if that's just the one time that he said that, that's not bullying, that's just being a jerk. And so we need to address it that way. If he says that every day for like 2 or 3 weeks, along with, and you know, you wear that shirt again, I'm coming after you, that's bullying, that's threatening behavior. If it ends up online, oh my gosh, did you see he had the ugliest shirt ever online, that's online bullying. To have students recognize what that is, and then to have them be able to role play and have a chance to resolve. In one of the PowerPoints I talk about it, that if it's, you know, if it's physical bullying, if it's emotional bullying, cyberbullying, physical contact, that resolution isn't going to happen between 2 students. That's going to happen between the principal or myself and that student. The consequences will be assigned, and the best resolution is you guys got to stay away from each other. We also offer homework club, and then I do individual and small group meetings with students. So I'll give you a kind of a generic scenario. This was from last year, and these were 8th grade students last year, and it was just a lot of tick, 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 tick. You know, not even really full-blown girl drama, but I thought, you know, if we don't really address it from the bottom up, it's going to turn into that. So I had all the girls, we met in the conference room, and the counselor before me here left these postcards that are just kind of inspirational or whatever. I turned them all upside down, mixed them up, said, okay, you guys pick one, each pick one. And they did, and we went around the room, and they had to read theirs and kind of give an example of, you know, what they thought that meant. So, and one of them says, like, do one thing nice for somebody else every day, and don't let them know about it. And so, rather than sitting these girls down and saying, you know, the drama is just going to take away from your class time, because when you're in 8th grade and you're a girl and someone is talking to you about drama, one of 2 things happens. Either you go, drama, yes, as a matter of fact, yes, I'll have some, please, with a side of blame on the side. Or you go, la 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 la. But if I'm asking students to be able to engage with each other and have conversations with each other, these girls came out of that and they were just like, oh, wow. And I did the exact same thing actually last week with some 6th grade some 6th grade and 7th grade girls who were from 2 separate groups of this little outburst of whatever. And at first they all thought they were in huge trouble. And they're not, you know, we just sat down, we had a really good discussion. So all of these different things. Another one of the home-based presentations that I'm really kind of proud of is applying for your job as for your next year's student. So I'm going to have 8th graders apply to be freshmen, and so I've made the PowerPoint to look like a want ad, like apply now, you know, these are your working conditions, these are the working hours. So 6th and 7th grade will also be able to apply, so they get an idea of what it's like to be an 8th grader, what it's like to be a 7th grader, to kind of put a little bit more gentle spin on, oh boy, next year's coming. I want students to feel excited about that. I want them to kind of go, oh yeah, okay, that's the next step for me, instead of having it be super scary. So we talked about engaging students, and before we kind of open up any discussion, I want to say to people who would be watching this after the fact, if you have any ideas, if you want to give us some suggestions, please don't hesitate to contact me. I'll give my information at the end of the video. It is on the PowerPoint itself. What do you guys think? What can we be doing better to have parents feel involved and feel heard? And remember, I'm the counselor, so I won't tell anybody what you said.
Activities like this,
Yeah, okay,
point blank, right here,
right, okay, okay. What do you think might be a roadblock for parents to attend something like this?
Lifestyle, busyness, work. you know,
Right, okay, okay.
keeping
So-
them-
Yeah, so there again, maybe having something like this where we can upload this to a link off of our website. Right, right, okay. So, and I know it's awfully hard, and, you know, we know that too, and so we're constantly trying to think of ways, you know, I mean, part of me kind of, I don't know what Andy would think of this, but part of me would kind of wanna suggest we do this during the fall festival night. You know, you had to drop your kids off, they can be in the gym on the bouncy house, or, you know.
Well, last year we had it on the school dance night, on our Friday night.
Yes, that's right, so kind of embedding that in, maybe into other activities, you know. And then, of course, you know, kids are like, oh no, my parents are here, I'm at the school dance, oh. You know, how embarrassing. So we, you know, we want our students to achieve, and here again, one of the things that Andy has kind of charged me with is helping student achievement through the non-academic learning component at school. So we have the academics, and then we have what we call the social curriculum, and that's, yes.
It's a full-time job.
yes, it is, and then some. I can honestly say I have never had a boring day here in about the year and a third that I've been here. And one of the things that I did with actually Ms. Thompson's home base just last week as part of one of my observations that I have to do is I had students go through a student version of what I'm giving you. Believe, engage, and achieve, and how do we achieve, and what does that mean, and what does success mean? We had a lot of insightful answers. I was just so pleased. And we had the students practice by setting one small goal, and that the instructions were, think of one tiny thing that you want to get done today. Whether it's you want to be able to go to the park and play with your friends, or you want to get on your phone and text your friends, or you have to have that spelling test studied for. What's one goal? And then list 3 things that you can do. And so I've been busy this week, but my plan is to hopefully maybe come into this home base tomorrow and say, remember that goal? How'd that go? Kids at this age are wired to not have any time management skills whatsoever. You know, a day feels like a year, a minute could last a day, you know, or a day can go by like 5 minutes. And that's why I love working with middle school students so much, because they're coming, they're going, they're learning, they're figuring out where they fit into the world. And so time management for me and goal setting is really important for me. And I love this picture. What people think it looks like and then what it really looks like, it doesn't look like that. And in the success PowerPoint that I did, I put an arrow here and I said, if it looks like this, you're doing it right. Because you have to regroup, and you have to, you know, when you look at your goals and you say, oh, well, I didn't quite meet that. What were the reasons, and what can I do to overcome that? And I talk to students all the time about letdowns and not successes. I don't like to call them failures, although there's a really great clip that I use from Michael Jordan about how many times he's failed and that kind of thing. I don't like to use that word failure. We just didn't hit the mark. Maybe we set the mark too high. Maybe we had some other things that came in. One of the presentations that I want to do for the kiddos, I don't want to actually violate Stephen Covey's copyright, because there's already the 7 Habits of Highly Effective Teens. I'm going to do something like some of the habits of successful Spartans, so that I'm not completely plagiarizing him, but beginning with the end in mind. What can you change and what can't you change? And a lot of the times when I'm talking to students who have had a setback during the day, whether it's been academic or disciplinary, we talk about, is this really the end of the world? And what can be fixed? And what do we have to move on from? Another PowerPoint that I want to do is what to do when you're late to class. I think students think, oh my gosh, if I'm late, then there's going to be this hole in the floor that opens up and I'm going to drop through it and land into detention right now. At a previous school, I had this kid who was like, Mrs. Thomas, you just got to write me a pass. You got to write me a pass because I'm going to be late. And I said, well, do you know how to be late? He goes, no. And I said, well, there's 2 ways you can do it. And I said, now, do you think that the principal of this school has never been late in her life? He goes, well, probably, yeah, she's been late. And I said, okay, do you think that she goes into a board meeting, oh, hey, oh, I'm late, okay, I'm late, okay, sorry, I'm late, and disrupts everything? And he goes, no, she would never do that. And I said, well, then why do you think you need to? I said, you know what? You could slide in that door, maybe the bell has rung 10, 15 seconds ago, and if you just have your stuff and you're going to your business meeting and you walk on down and you get in your desk, you might not even be counted tardy. Because your last name may be Z and she's still on the D's, so you've got plenty of time. But teaching students how to do that with some dignity. Before I flip this over, we can talk some more too. I mean, what do you think we can be doing to help you and your child be more successful? And there's no wrong answer.
I like your answer too, just on the lateness. My son's always worried about being late, so more real world experiences just like that.
Yeah,
Don't
okay.
worry.
Right. We had this amazing thing happen with the 6th graders this year, because when Andy and I went out to the elementary schools, we stressed, okay, now you only have 3 minutes to get from point A to point B, and if you have 3 tardies in a 9-week period, and I'm telling you what, these kids were just on freak out lockdown. And I mean, they were running. So that actually prompted me to make the 3 S's: be safe, be sensible, and be sincere. Because I said, the reason that they're running is they're just scared to death that they're going to be late. And then, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? So you're right. So doing things that speak to them in their developmental brain. The other thing that I've done too that's been very, very successful, and I did this a lot at my last school, is I have no problem exclaiming what there is no penalty for. So I have been known to go up and down the hallway and say, there's no penalty for being on time. There's absolutely no penalty for being on time. As a matter of fact, there's no penalty for walking in the hallway. There's no penalty for being early. There's no penalty for keeping your hands to yourself. And the very first time I did this at my last school, this girl was running down the hall, and I just went, there's no penalty for walking. And she went, oh, because I think we can overload kiddos with, well, you better hurry up. If you don't hurry up, you're going to be late. That's going to be a tardy. And if you get too many tardies, that's going to be a detention. And then, if you have too many detentions, you don't take care of them. The kid's and their head explodes. So I my philosophy has always been, if a student is late, I don't make a big deal out of it. Because making a big deal out of it doesn't make them any less late. It just takes up valuable time that you could be teaching your class. So I've had adults say, oh, they're just gonna be so late and that. And I've just calmly said, well, talking about it doesn't make them any less late, does it? Hi, welcome. How are you? Come on in and join us. We're about wrapped up here, and then we can have you come and join us the whole time
sorry.
again. No,
It's okay.
that's okay. We love that you're here. I'm excited about that.
I thought maybe I was late, so.
No. The reason why we're chuckling is, and you'll hear this the next go round, is that I work very strongly with kids when they are just so frightened to be late, and you know how to come into the classroom if you feel like you're late and all this stuff, and so your timing was just brilliant. So that was
I
awesome.
tried.
That was awesome. And so I put this here, you know, that we want that home and school partnership. We're always very eager to strengthen that partnership with you. We welcome your ideas. We welcome suggestions. We welcome criticisms too. Because we know, I mean, this is a relationship, it's a partnership. And, you know, we've all grown up with friends, we've all grown up with partners and spouses and things like that. And it's not always that everybody's just completely cohesive, you know? And so if we're doing something that we could be doing better, hey, we need to listen, I think. I just thought that picture was cute because I love putting pictures on my PowerPoints, and if I didn't have all the like student issues, I tell you I would do PowerPoints all day long. But I'm glad that I have the student issues too, because that's a big, huge part of my job. So what I'm going to say to the video is, if you need to get a hold of me, it's Ellen Thomas. I'm at Olympia Middle School, 359. No, I'm not. No, I'll have to edit that out. That was the wrong number. 379-5941, extension 8050. My email address is ellen.thomas@olympia.org. Thank you so much for watching.